Next on Good Morning Nigeria is a newspaper review.
All right, welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Good Morning Nigeria, and right time for our newspaper review. And Chukwudi Gbaja, last night I saw him trying to smuggle just one goal, for Arsenal. Chukwudi, good morning.
Arsenal did well. Experience is everything.
Thank you.
Experience is everything.
But sometimes
the masters of
sometimes energy.
The Champions League registered that experience. That's why when I get into offices and I see young people coming into the workplace and being rather overzealous, it's an offense in the civil service, overzealousness. You see, just watch the person for some time. Experience is everything. No academic certificates can push aside experience.
We won't push it aside. They will have to work together.
Bayern Munich showed Arsenal. That header.
The long goal shocked me. I didn't see it.
And it came from a man's head.
The precision.
Oh, no. It was, I wrote maths 3 times and failed it 4 times.
You keep saying that.
But I could see the angular, dimensions to that header.
All right.
I felt bad.
No.
But they put up because they dominated the game. They had how many accurate passes? Much more than
Tiki-taka would always speak to Arsenal. But let's say this. Let's say this. Expectation by human beings sometimes bother me. Arsenal was rebuilt just 2 months ago. They are far younger than the rest of the. Why would you expect them to do so well in Champions League? Anyway. Is it that easy?
No, why not?
I am talking like, Victor.
We've seen young teams win the Champions League. Ajax team of 1995, if I remember correctly, the Kano one was that they were very young.
Yes.
They are not the first.
But they have a tradition. I knew at Ekenwa campus, University of Benin, Ajax that was when this guy with the curly hair, his son is playing in EPL now. Yeah, was holding sway.
Very, very young.
Though we don't have sports on the front pages of our paper set of reviewing, but it's also part of a review. And I think we should not also forget the crowd home team support. It was electrifying.
I agree with you.
It was electrifying. And for clubs like that, when they play home, they get the energy.
What Victor didn't quite let me land is this. People should stop expecting too much sometimes. It complicates life. Well, for instance, I tell myself, I will never get rich so quickly. No, I have to explain how I'm getting rich. That way, you do not weigh yourself down with so many things, and you live a blissful life.
All right, let's
we'll get there.
Let's begin with the leadership. And just above the masthead of the leadership newspaper, electricity tariff, 65% of private businesses risk shutting down. Well, I see the picture of the Minister of Power. It's not our intention to defend Naira. That's according to the CBN. Both stories are on page 31. And then below the masthead, coroner says Oromoni died of natural causes. That's, remember Sylvester Oromoni, the boy who died in school. Nigeria's inflation rises to 33.20%. That story is on page 2. And then the major headline here reads, Ganduje battles for survival. Damagum knows fate today. With 3 riders, Ganduje fingers NNPP in Kano crisis. Youths back national chairman as Wardesco's petition NJC. And the third one, NEC will decide on Damagum today, PDP governors. Well, that story is captioned APC PDP crisis, Ganduje battles for survival, Damagum knows fate today. And controversy trails conflicting court orders over Yaya Bello's arrest. You can also find that, and there's one interesting one, Bobrisky moved to Kirikiri from Ikoyi prison. That one is on page 14. I think we should switch over now to the blueprint, which leads with the headline, alleged 84 billion naira fraud, clash of court orders as EFCC's bid to arrest ex-governor Bello fails. With 2 riders, FHC issues warrant of arrest, KGHC restrains anti-graft body. That's Kogi High Court, and Ododo visits embattled predecessor. Bello seeks Tinubu's intervention. And then I think the other stories, APC, PDP crisis, the NEC meeting, the Damagum issue, and all of those are already taken in the earlier paper. So
yes, I think the Victor, the way you called Kirikiri left me wondering if it was Kirikiri.
It's Kirikiri.
Kirikiri, but you I know it's Kirikiri.
I'm a Lagos boy.
No, you did. Chukudi, did you hear Kirikiri?
It's Kirikiri.
Kirikiri. It's Kirikiri. I mean,
many Nigerian broadcasters should learn local names first before they start telling me the man's name is Mikhail Gorbachev. You're doing better than the Russians when the name from your doorstep is not quite a... But I'm not saying Victor did so badly. No, he just gave me opportunity
for us to
return to the training class.
I know. All right. So, but the two main stories this morning, of course.
Yes.
The story emanating from Kanu and the one, involving Yaya Bello. And the 2 cases involve conflicting courts, court rulings. Now, the one with the Yaya Bello, EFCC, Yaya Bello is saying that EFCC is not obeying subsistent court order, which was granted him in Lokoja. The one in Abuja is saying, look, Falana is saying here, Supreme Court has said no court can gag EFCC and others. Same thing in Kanu. Kanu High Court affirms Ganduje's suspension. I don't know what else. Chukwudi, what do you make of these 2 stories?
First of all, before I get there, when DNA speaks, when it speaks from the lab, Chukwudi should stop claiming a child that has been training for a long time if the father is proved not to be himself. So when the court rules, everyone should keep quiet. If there are conflicting judgments, does the NJC have a problem? You see, when we talk about these things, I go to the root of why they happen. We can't have a free-for-all in our judicial system. I mean, that would not be a compliment to the men in the wig. They have to give us believability as something that accompanies their work. So let them resolve all those conflicting court judgments they're talking about. They are even saying that some members who said they were members of Ganduje's ward in Kano suspended him. Politicians are like that. It will be an aberration for these things not to happen. They are natural expectation in politics. So let them work it out. The interesting thing is that the national body of the APC, whether it's NEC or whether it's CWC you're talking about, they have not come out to vociferously on the matter yet. So are we going to see a court process go on and on to resolve this matter, or are they at a point going to say, we have decided to settle this thing ourselves, can you let us do it out of court?
The Supreme Court is the final. That's the point. If the Supreme Court had given a ruling that no court can stop the FCC from carrying out its constitutional responsibilities, then it behoves the other courts so that is where the issue is. That's one. Then secondly, if a state high court gives a ruling on an issue, now will that have to be vacated? before you now,
Not when you are talking about appeal.
an appeal.
You're going to a higher court and
higher
all of
court.
that. But I like conflicting court
Let me
judgments
say that.
don't cover the judiciary
You see,
in
we are
glory.
still
It doesn't
swimming
tell a good
around
story.
things that maybe should not have happened in the first place. It's like when you quote the Constitution. But this Constitution says, and I don't quote Constitution on the air, because you can bring two guests here that lawyers.
Yes, the same.
So leave the Constitution to be interpreted by, in broadcasting, we don't go quoting Constitution on the air, really. It bores the viewer. But having said that, politicians will be politicians. You ask yourself whether some people set out just to enrich lawyers for the heck of it. Is it that there's so much money in their pocket? If a natural expectation would naturally rule the day, we'll have 3/4 of the conflicts we go through in the world resolved even without anybody raising.
Okay, I don't know if you have, but
You
I have one last one on this matter.
Yes.
And that's the manner. Because, it was a whole, rowdy drama yesterday. Different TV stations have different angle to the story as expected. But when you go to enforce, an arrest, do you need to, brandish guns, weapons?
But when someone is clearly evading arrest. We've had a similar story where somebody was inside, just come out and go with us.
Look.
And then you begin to pray and video live prayer and
fine. Africa has a lot of
it's not
things.
learning. This one is
Africa
not
has a
on
lot
the
to
security
resolve
agencies.
concerning its manners. You see, when you talk about, yesterday we mentioned religiosity. Religiosity does not give you social etiquette. EFCC needs social etiquette. The people whom EFCC needs to put in their net need social etiquette. Africa has a way of undermining certain things that make human life more livable. We have to learn it. Many of the conflicts you see in our offices is the absence of emotional intelligence being taught to workers. So is the job of the manager. I come now, I start teaching you English phonetics and all that, as if you're going to take English home. The first thing to teach people in the office is emotional intelligence. Then you stop saying, is that Ibiraboyo? Is that Iseluku Mano? And all that.
Chuk, sorry.
We need etiquette.
I'm sure you see the producer is giving us...
Yeah, I can see that,
but thank you. Thank you for the...
But we're
points
passionate
that you
about our
raised,
country.
Victor. Yes.
Well, time to say goodbye.
Thank you.
No, don't say goodbye. I've always said it. Goodbyes. I don't like saying goodbyes.
You gave me...
Chukwudi, we'll see you tomorrow.
You were super polite.
We will see you tomorrow.
Pushing me out.
Chukwudi, we will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
By God's grace. Let's take a break.